Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and welcome to another installment of Book Community, where sometimes I keep you abreast of what's going on in the bookish community, the shenanigans that are happening. And we have some things to discuss. First though, if my eyes look puffy, please ignore that because I was rewatching The Haunting of Hill House. This is Andrew's first time watching it, and it is really hitting me this time. Like, I loved it the first time I watched it, but I didn't really get emotional till like the latter half. But we watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, so if my eyes are puffy, I tried to go, get myself together. My eyes are puffy, that's why. So, and then also, since this video will come out before the election if you are eligible to vote in the United States of America, I urge you to please vote. Please, thank you. And third, I would like to say, just a reminder, if you're interested in traveling with me to Ireland next October, so that's October 2025, the trip is live. It is linked down in the description. Maybe I'll pin a comment, but it's through Trover Trip. So think Ireland, beautiful green views, water, scenic cliffs, Guinness, bookstores, castles, mythology, come on, and me. Of course, me. If those things entice you and you would like to go, there's still spots available. There's only 16 total people who can go on the trip. So it's a smaller group than normally. They're like 20 to 25, but there's only 16 on this one, which I like, a little smaller. And I've been thinking about maybe doing like a book club element with it because I've been wanting to find more good books based on Irish fae mythology. So that could be fun. We could do that. We don't have to. We don't need structure, but also we could. But anyway, the trip page is down below. If you want to check it out, I'll give you all the details and tell you what you have to do. You don't have to pay the trip in full. You just have to put down like 25% of the trip to secure your spot. So I hope to see you next October. That would be amazing. Anyway, just wanted to plug that really quickly. And do I have anything else? Not that I can think of, so we shan't stall any longer and let's get to it. So briefly, I wanted to talk about the new Kindles. So I don't even know how many have come out, but it recently was released maybe last week, and it was like, check out the new Kindles. Here we go. Meet the all new Kindle family, including the first color Kindle. This is from Amazon. So they have a new lineup. They have a Kindle Color Soft Signature Edition. Brings color to Kindle without compromise. And then they have a new Kindle Scribe with in-book writing and an AI-powered notebook. It says combines all the benefits of Kindle with a powerful note-taking device. Yeah. And then the fastest Kindle ever, the all-new Kindle Paperwhite, and it has these different colors. And then the most compact Kindle, now in a matcha green color. Anyway, here's the thing. If you're getting a new Kindle, whatever. I got one as a gift last Christmas, I think. I got a new Kindle. And I love her. But I have just seen recently, and I think I talked about this in a video a while ago, people having multiple e-readers. And I know a lot of people, there are people who are like, you don't need a new Kindle. And then people who will stitch their video on TikTok and they're like, do whatever you want. Do what brings you happiness, which at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want. But it's like, I'm just asking here that you just take a moment and think about if you really need that. Like, yes, there are times when you've had your laptop for 10 years, you've had your phone for 8 years, and it's like, you have to get a new one. You can try to buy refurbished, but like, I know that things, unfortunately, are not built to last in our economy, but we do not need a new thing every time it comes out. Like every year, you don't need the new iPhone, you don't need a new MacBook, you don't need a new Kindle. You don't need a Kindle in color. Like, I guess, some people are like, oh my God, but if I read manga, okay, I guess, but like, the majority of people who are like, ooh, I'm gonna get a Kindle that's in color because of things, you have an iPad. I don't know. whatever, you're gonna buy what you want to buy. I'm just saying, like, let's maybe pause for a moment and let's really think about it, because those do have an effect. I think the battery that's in Kindle is sourced from cobalt, and that's directly negatively affecting people in Congo. Like, no, we can't, under capitalism, be perfect consumers. But that also doesn't mean like we should just be like, you know, to the wind and just do whatever. I think in places where you are able to think about something and maybe choose the alternative or choose not to purchase a new thing, like, think about that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't avoid plastic in my life. We can't avoid a lot of these things. Like, a lot of this stuff comes down to corporations and them polluting the environment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like, sometimes there are things you can do, and it's just like, do you need another e-reader? Just think. And if you say you do, you do. That's your podcast, not mine. But let's pause for a moment. Like, don't let it pop up and you're like, gotta get it. Don't have FOMO. Just don't follow people on Book Talk. I don't know, who have a bunch of e-readers and then you won't have FOMO. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Next, speaking of Book Talk, I'm going to talk about y'all's queen. Because I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe, they were featured on the Kelly Clarkson show. Now, I've never watched Kelly Clarkson's show. I do love Kelly Clarkson. I am old enough to have been watching her on the first season of American Idol. Okay, love her down. I mean, like, her music, I don't know her as a person. That girl can sing. Excellent covers. I have never watched her show. I don't watch any kind of like daytime talk shows. I don't know how it works or if this is a normal thing, but there was like a little segment talking about Book Talk, and they said the queen of Book Talk, and it was her. And now I made a separate video that I don't know if I'll ever actually publish, because I don't know if I said what I wanted to say in the right way. But bringing this, I brought it up because people made a lot of videos about it, like how did Kelly Clarkson's team not take the time to Google and see like the, you know, the sexual harassment, you know, that she was doing to the hockey player, all of that. If you don't remember that, I can link that video. But that alone, she has a lot of other things that obviously a major corporation wouldn't care about, but like, you would think maybe they would care about that, but who knows. But something all of the people who are stitching this, sad, upset, disappointed to see this person featured on Kelly Clarkson's show, kept saying like, you are not our queen, you're not the queen of Book Talk, you don't represent me. And while that is true to those who say that, like, well, I don't consider myself a part of Book Talk at all, but even if I was, I would say you are no queen of mine. However, she has like, I don't know, over 1 million. So I don't know if she lost followers after the whole Seattle Kraken thing, but she seemed to have gained them back and some. So she represents Book Talk. She is a representative of Book Talk. She is someone that Book Talk supports, at least over 1 million of them. So I don't know how to say it in a better way. Like, I have a lot of thoughts about it, but it's like some individuals may not claim her, don't want any affiliation with her, and I get that because neither do I. But it's interesting the number of things that she has that have been less than savory and still has such a large platform. So it's like, so there's obviously people following and supporting this. So mayhap she is a representative of the larger Book Talk. I don't know. That's what I would like to work through if I could ever figure out the words to talk about. But if you understand what I'm saying, then you get it. If you don't, so sorry. And you know, her loyal minions are like, y'all are just hating because I'm successful and da-da-da-da. And it's like, you know what? Partially because it sucks that if you have, I don't know, morals, lines that you won't cross, you know, things that you are going to stand for, you often will not succeed as much as somebody who's willing to cross lines and willing to compromise and be like, oh, who cares? And just, you know, promote any and everything. So yeah, sometimes it is a little bit of hateration in this dancery here because it's fucked that people just get to be woefully ridiculous and uncaring. I'm trying to use other words besides problematic, because I think that word is just so overused, but those people are often the ones with the most followers and getting paid all these brand deals, because working with corporations often means that you are compromising. Not all the time, but anyway, I don't know how to express my feelings, so I'm gonna end it there. But that person is still thriving, sadly. Additionally, I popped onto book threads, which is, well, I just popped on the threads. It's mainly book people that come up, which is such a miserable place. I'm like, is it worse than book Twitter? That might be pushing it. I don't know, but I feel like I never see anything good on there. And I got on and I saw, let me read it to you. It is an author that says, today I returned 2 books on Audible because they were smutty, and I choose not to listen to that. I don't want to be that person making authors lose money instead of make it. How hard is it really to have authors, publishers include ratings for books? Reviewers can confirm or deny if the rating is accurate, just like we confirm or deny if sizing is accurate on Amazon and DSW and everywhere else. And on that note, why are TV ratings so overprotective while the rest of society is spiraling into anything goes? I just watched Enola Holmes 2 rated PG-13. I think I heard a single cuss word. I don't get it. But back to books. Let us post our own ratings and warnings as authors. Let reviewers confirm, deny accuracy. It's not hard. Someone, I don't know what you call it. Is it a quote tweet? Is it a quote thread? I don't know what they call it there. Anyway, they said, remember when the parental advisory stickers showed up on CDs and then giant stores like Walmart were all, hey, guess what? We aren't going to sell any CDs with that sticker. Censor your stuff or else we won't stock them. And because they had such a giant hold on the market, record labels had to choose between either suffering a loss in sales or adhere to whatever Walmart wanted and deemed appropriate. Anyway, putting ratings on books is a form of censorship and a very slippery slope. And wow, I do remember that. God, I'm old. And there were some other people, basically like, it is a slippery slope. That is censorship. Books don't need to be rated. There was one that I saw and I don't know, I lost it because I couldn't find it to get a screenshot of it. But someone was like, no, it was like, what if a child is wandering and they pick up this book? It's called, okay, if the child has money and you're letting them go buy something, I don't know. I'm not a parent. I always try to keep that in mind, but like you should be having these conversations with your child about what is appropriate for them, what's age appropriate for them to read, or if they're in the store with you, you looking at what they have in their hands to determine if that's something that you think they should read at their age. Ratings on books, no, that just seems bonkers to me. It's just, a very slippery slope. I also don't think that, as like some people are like, maybe we should just like mark if it's smutty or whatever. I just think people also have different interpretations of like what necessarily is smutty or like how smutty or what's mature. So maybe their general system, but like then you would get something, let's say they put a PG-13 on it. But what if somebody was like, I don't know, it has like a sex scene, but it's not fully described on page, and someone's like, I don't agree, that shouldn't be with. It's just mayhaps we not, and people take the time to figure out what they're reading. Like, I am notorious for looking at a title, a cover, scanning the summary, and being like, okay, I'm gonna read it or not. And then I start reading, I'm like, God damn, I should have read that damn synopsis because I surely wouldn't have read this. However, that is usually, well, if I buy the book, then I buy the book. I'm not taking it back. That's not me. But then a lot of the times it's through the library and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to request it. Obviously, I can return it. I rarely buy anything through Audible anyway. So it's like, if you're going to buy something, maybe take the time to read what it's about, maybe read some reviews. So maybe people will be like, ooh, this had a little bit more smut or sex on page than I was expecting. I just don't understand, like, how are we still having this conversation? Like, there's other conversations, actually, I could say that about a lot of things. These conversations go in circles, but that one just came up again and I was like, Jesus Christ, are we still trying to do this? Let's fucking not. And I was gonna say and pretend like we did. No, let's not pretend like we did. Let's just act like adults and read synopsis of books and look at maybe the author and maybe the audience they have. I don't know. Figure it out. Stop returning books to Audible because it was too smutty for you. Like, grow up. Do better. Okay, I got back on Threads to find this thing. And I'm just gonna read you some of these things so I can tell you why. And I'm not following a lot of people, so maybe that's why I'm just getting whatever. But I'm not even going to waste my time screenshotting them and putting them all on screen. I'm just gonna give you like why I hate going on Threads, because it's just tweet thread after thread. I don't even know what they call it. What do they call them? Of just like, y'all are annoying. Okay, here we go. I've been seeing a lot of posts about describing romances as clean being problematic, but is there an issue with the word smut too? Because it literally means dirty. Is it only one-sided? Let's talk about politics on Bookstagram. I've personally struggled a lot this political cycle with knowing if I should keep this space 100% focused on books versus speaking out against injustice. I don't believe silence is always the answer, but I realize Bookstagram is a place many people, myself included, use as a fun escape from reality and don't want to be bombarded with political views. The people complaining about smutty cartoon cover romance books that look like they're for kids are the same people who are oblivious to their kids watching Has Been Hotel or Vox Machina because it's a cartoon, so obviously it's for children. Open a book and check the content warnings. Eyes up to see what section you're in. Check the publisher to see if it's a romance imprint. We don't want books banned, but some of you want more censorship. You're towing a dangerous line that will hurt authors, promise. Okay, valid. No genre is oversaturated. Write your romance, your horror, your fantasy, whatever your story is, fucking write it. It will be read. It will be bought. Do not buy into the lie of oversaturation. I guess. You can pry my romantasy books from my cold dead hands. Okay, I don't care. I swear to God, every week, but on here, there's someone suggesting the Hays Code, but for books, thinking it's real damn clever and not just repackaged Moms for Liberty shit. Yeah, true. What if instead of paying rent, we just moved into haunted castles, had dramatic candlelit dinners, and hosted midnight tea parties for the ghosts? Okay, now that is worthy of my feed. Thank you. Authors shouldn't advertise their own books. It's cringe. Let me explain to you what independent means, my dearest darling. I move that we officially nominate dark romance ghoulies as the gender-inclusive replacement for dark romance girlies. Okay, bye. Because the cover is pretty, it's a perfectly valid reason to purchase a book. Yeah, you know. Can we normalize being 40 and loving a spicy romance novel? Why are people being so judgy? I don't have time for people who think calling me silly for liking smut isn't a compliment. Yeah, who cares? Okay, I'm tired. That's enough. Let me find what I actually came here for. I just had to give you a sampling so you could just know that it's just every dot. God, I get on here and I'm like, never mind, I'm leaving. Okay, so this is about a book by a romance author, K.A. Tucker, who was alerted by a reader that they thought a book that was a book that they were reading or saw. I think reading. I don't know if they had read it or if they were reading a sample. Seemed eerily similar to one of K.A. Tucker's books, but it had a different cover under a different author. So this is the thread from the author. I was going to keep quiet and go about my business while my publisher's legal team deals with this, but I decided it was a situation worth sharing. I'll preface this by saying I do not want this author harassed, though they have no social media presence that I can find, and I'm not posting the book's title or author name at this time. Yesterday, my publicist contacted me about an email from a reader who discovered a book in Kindle Unlimited that seemed very familiar to Until It Fades, a hockey romance I published with Atria Books in 2017. After digging more, she felt the book was nearly a direct match, save for some word changes she felt I should know. I found the book, and within 10 seconds, I knew I had to flag this to my agent so she can contact my publisher for further action. I will share some comparisons so you can see what I strongly suspect is my book run through an AI tool and then published in Kindle Unlimited under a different title. Here's the description for Until It Fades next to the other description. So,
24-year-old truck stop waitress and single mother Catherine Wright has simple goals: to give her 5-year-old daughter a happy life and to never again be the talk of the town in Balsam, Pennsylvania. Population 2,000 outside of tourist season. And then one foggy night on a lonely road, back from another failed attempt at a relationship, Catherine saves a man's life. It isn't until the police have arrived that Catherine realizes exactly who it is she has saved. Brett Madden, hockey icon and media darling. Catherine has already had her 15 minutes of fame, and the last thing she wants is to have her past dragged back into the spotlight, only this time on a national stage. So she hides her identity. It works for a time. But when she finds the man she saved standing on her doorstep, desperate to thank her, all that changes. What begins as an immediate friendship quickly turns into something neither of them expected, something that Catherine isn't sure she can handle. Something that Catherine is afraid to trust, because how long can an extraordinary man like Brett be interested in an ordinary woman like Catherine before the spark fades? LOL. I was reading the description from Goodreads, and it says population 2,000. The screenshot said 3,000, but I think that's the only difference. My bad.
Okay, this other one says,
Catherine Ray, a truck stop waitress and single mother, has one goal: to provide a peaceful life for her young daughter while staying out of the spotlight in the small town of Balsam, Pennsylvania. After a troubled past, Catherine just wants to blend in and keep her head down. But one fateful evening changes everything. On a lonely road, she saves a man from a terrible accident, only to later discover he is Brett Madden, a famous hockey player adored by the media. Catherine's instinct is to avoid attention, knowing the media frenzy that could follow. She keeps her role in Brett's rescue a secret, hoping her life won't be turned upside down again. But Brett is determined to find the woman who saved his life. When he tracks her down, neither of them expects the undeniable chemistry that ignites between them. Their connection is deep, but Catherine is haunted by her past, doubting whether she can trust her feelings or whether a man like Brett could ever truly be a part of her world. As their bond grows stronger, Catherine must decide, will she take a leap of faith and open her heart to love she never thought possible, or will her fears hold her back from the life she and her daughter deserve? For fans of heartfelt romance and emotionally rich stories, this is a tale of love, healing, and second chances. Will Catherine risk everything for a love she's always dreamed of but never believed she could have?
here are some of the content comparisons. Okay, Until It Fades, which is K. Tucker's book, is the one with the cursive chapter title. So chapter 1, I will read this whole thing, says March 2010. This is the original book. The Subaru station wagon comes to a sliding halt in a parking spot out front of the Balsam County Police Station, the fresh blanket of snow coating the asphalt, making the streets slippery. And my stomach sinks with the realization that I've been tricked by my own mother. What happened to going to the mall, Mom? She's been quiet since we pulled out of the driveway. I just assumed she was pissed at me. These days, she usually is. This is the chapter of the most likely plagiarized version. April of 2011. The roads are slick due to the recent layer of snow covering the tarmac, causing the Subaru station wagon to skid to a stop in front of the Balsam County Police Station. And the knowledge that my own mother has deceived me makes my stomach turn. Mom, what happened to visiting the mall? Since we drove out of the driveway, she has been silent, so I figured she was mad at me. She generally is these days. Were you really under the impression that we would go shopping and act like... And then it cut off. And then there's another comparison, the original book. Tonight is a night of first and last, as in I will never agree to a blind date ever again. So I says to the guy, Gord's fleshy hands wave over his dinner plate. He's a hand talker. I says, walking out that door without buying this car would be a travesty. I can't allow you to suffer. He pauses and leans in to build suspense, I guess, before slapping the table. He drove off the lot with a mighty fine Dodge that same afternoon. Suspected plagiarized version. It's a night of first tonights, and continues. That is to say, I will never consent to another blind date. Thus I say to the man, being a hand talker. Gord waves his plump hands over his supper plate. I say, walking out that door without buying this car would be a travesty. I can't allow you to suffer. He adds, I assume he's trying to create tension by pausing and leaning in before smacking the table. That same day, he drove off the lot with a mighty fine Dodge. Anyone can see this is the same story. They didn't even change the character names. Forgetting all of the above for a moment, as if it's not enough, the cover is stolen artwork from a special edition of a very well-known author's novel, a friend of mine, no less. I did a little bit more digging because I was not going to get any writing done while steeping in rage, and a quick image lookup of the author photo revealed other books under different pen names with AI composed bios, as well as marketing course on Fiverr, charging upwards of $150 for their brilliant marketing techniques. I can make assumptions about the kind of person behind this, but there's no point. I hope Amazon does the right thing and suspends their KDP account. They could have dozens of pen names, each with stolen work published in KU that pays out if not caught in time. A little bit here, a little bit there, a lot more when added up. There are known issues with people selling pirated books on the Apple Books platform. It's like a whack-a-mole. At least Amazon scans to help identify published content, but it's clearly not catching cases where thieves use AI to produce clunky, awkward versions of our books. If this isn't tackled, it will only get worse. It will become a viable business model for these cockroaches. I thought I'd share this so people can just see another example of plagiarism in publishing thanks to AI. While there may be benefits to this technology, there's a real dark side. I also wanted to know that if you find yourself in a situation like this, I also wanted readers to know that if you find yourself in a situation like this, I personally don't know any author who wouldn't appreciate a quick heads up so we can dig deeper and take action as necessary. Most plagiarism cases are discovered because a reader notices. I'm thankful to this reader. And then an update, K.A. Tucker said the book's link is down. I'm waiting to confirm that the person's account has been suspended, which would mean any stolen books under other pen names are also gone. Unfortunately, the situation is becoming a reality for so many creatives. Sorry, I don't prescribe to the attitude that thieves will be thieves. Yes, they will, but generative AI has made it so much easier for criminals to steal in new ways. Also, a friend reminded me about the value of the Authors Guild. Being a member gains you access to legal support, and I've been told they're very good at working with Amazon to remove stolen books. If you're an author, please consider becoming a member. Every day we stray farther from the Lord's light. Is that what they say? I don't know. But every day I see something else about AI and it just being terrible. It's terrible for the environment. It's terrible for creatives, including artists and writers. It's terrible for the job market because companies want to use AI instead of employing actual people. It's terrible. I can't say that there aren't instances where it's useful. But like the new thing where you Google something and it pops up at the top, the Mid-Journey, the AI through Canva, I hate it all so fucking much. And this is just another in the long list of trash that comes from AI that no one has asked for. Chat GPT, I hate it. And I hate how often I see so many people casually talking about it. Like, sure, there's probably AI and things that we can't control or don't know about, but people like, as someone who's like, Black people, we gotta learn Chat GPT and these other things, we can't get left behind. I'm like, why? They're not, I'm sorry. What is, I don't know. I hate it. I'm sure there are so many other authors this is happening to. I've seen it enough with fucking AI garbage. I hate even calling it AI art because it's not fucking art. It's stolen images mushed together to look like some demented piece of shit. I fucking hate it so much. I'm an AI hater.
Just popping in to say this is the book, the cover, the author, the title that was plagiarizing K.A. Tucker's book, because she may be polite enough not to mention that, but y'all need to know. And shout out to the author Diana Rodriguez Wallach. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I saw this from her on TikTok. But yeah, fuck anybody who does this. Kick rocks.
Ooh. Just got an email about a fic that I'm subscribed to updating. Always a good day. Lastly, I'm here to talk about an author and some new release books. So this author, I think I follow on Instagram. I don't remember when I did, but I saw a post from them today. Anyway, they just had a book come out under St. Martin's. It's called If I Stopped Haunting You by Colby Wilkins. It looks very cute. I was like, ooh, that's something I would eventually read. It says ghosts aren't the only thing that go bump in the night. So here's what's going on. So I'll link this down below. It's an article in the New York Post about the author. And of course, I'll put it here and we'll read it together. Author with $249,000 book deal claims she's Choctaw Cherokee Native American group alleges otherwise. So an author who identifies as Native American has been called out by a research group who claims she has no genealogical connection to any indigenous tribe. Seattle-based Colby Wilkins, 31, claims she is a white, Native, and queer writer of Choctaw and Cherokee descent on her website. Her recently published debut, If I Stopped Haunting You, part of a 3-book deal for sizzling adventure romance novels valued at as much as $249,000, features an indigenous character who flirts with a female Native American writer at a haunted Scottish castle. Her next book is about hunting for lost Cherokee gold. However, nonprofit organization Tribal Alliance Against Frauds claims Wilkins has no links to any indigenous peoples based upon research by their genealogists into her family line, poring over documents of her ancestors going back 10 generations. We found this person has no American Indian ancestry, Leanna Constantino, co-founder and director of TAAF, and herself from the Cherokee Nation, told the Post. There are multiple complaints about this person lots of people have suspected for some time. The TAAF alleges Wilkins made a mistake when compiling her family tree centered around a man named William Henry Adams. Wilkins had a great-great-great-grandfather by this name, according to the genealogist who researched her case. A William Henry Adams was also registered on the Cherokee Dawes Roll in 1898. The Dawes Rolls list everyone who was accepted as eligible for tribal membership as a Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, or Seminole Native. However, TAAF researchers believe there were 2 men with this name, one who was a white settler and one who was indigenous. Though they had the same name, they were different people. They claim their investigation shows Wilkins is related to the non-indigenous William Henry Adams. Wilkins previously wrote on X how she had an ancestor born in 1888. According to TAF's investigation, this relative would have to be Jack Alfred Adams, the son of William Henry Adams. However, according to the Dawes rule, the William Henry Adams, who was a Cherokee, would have been less than a year old in 1888, making it impossible for him to have fathered a child at that time. On the Choctaw side of Wilkins' claimed family tree, TAF's investigation found Wilkins' great-great-grandfather, Jack Adams, married Annie Lee Frances Taylor in 1909 in Stringtown, Oklahoma. That location is within the Choctaw Nation. However, TAF claimed the records they have seen show Annie was born in Stephenville, Texas, a town located a long way from any reservation with no connection to Native people. TAF boss Constantino said, "A lot of people are very upset with Wilkins' claims of her heritage," adding TAF pushed for their report, which concludes that Wilkins' family were white settlers to come out at the same time as her book. On October 9th, Wilkins posted on Instagram, "Today is Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm so grateful that I get to tell stories with mixed Native main characters and talk about identity and finding love." According to Constantino, TAF tries to help people save face if they've made a mistake with their genealogy. She says it is common for people to get caught up in a family myth passed down through generations about having Native heritage, which few then go on to check. But she explains, people have a responsibility to do so, especially if they make it part of their whole personality or use their heritage as part of their career. Several years ago, David Cornsilk, a professional genealogist and managing editor of the Cherokee Observer, commented on a Facebook post Wilkins made about her alleged Cherokee and Choctaw ancestry. "Since you are making money marketing your writing as a Native American, it seems you would want to find out for sure," Cornsilk wrote. "I would like to invite you to join our free workshop research group, and our team of genealogists and historians will find out the truth for you. You owe honesty and transparency to your readers. I hope you will take the high road in this manner." Constantino says falsely assuming Native ancestry is a serious issue, and if non-Native people take the place of Native writers, it drowns out attention to genuine Native voices, which are already vastly underrepresented in modern culture. First they wanted to exterminate all of us, now they literally want to be us. When everyone is an Indian, nobody is an Indian. They're literally erasing us by replacing us, Constantino said. Wilkins, who did not respond to multiple requests for comment from the Post, grew up in the Pacific Northwest and studied criminology at Portland State University, according to her online profile. She previously said in an interview with the Nerd Daily she has been writing novels since 2018 and had been shopping her debut novel for 3 years before landing a publishing deal. Wilkins retweeted a post from Publishers Marketplace which stated she had landed a good deal with her publisher, usually classified as one valued up to $249,000. So that was the post. There also is a link. I can post that as well to the Tribal Alliance Against Fraud organization that has all of this information about the genealogy. And so I won't read all of that since it's a lot of what I just read in the New York Post article, but I will include this part. Why this matters. Fewer than 2.5% of... What? Why are we blurry? Okay. Why this matters. Fewer than 2.5% of children's and young adult books were published by or about Native peoples in 2023, according to the Cooperative Children's Book Center at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. This means that any books representing Native Americans have an outsized influence on how people view Native peoples. This is especially the case for books published by major publishers with the promotion these books will likely have. This drowns out attention to genuine Native voices who are already working hard to counter centuries of oppression and misrepresentation. We call on bookstores and event organizers not to support this book. The Tribal Alliance Against Fraud is an intertribal anti-fraud nonprofit whistleblower organization comprised of allies and citizens of tribes whose sovereignty has been formally acknowledged. Now, when I got on the Instagrams today, I did see a post by Colby Wilkins. That was the first thing there. And I was like, oh wow, I do follow this person. I thought the name had sounded familiar. So their post says, "I have only ever created stories that are authentic to me and my life experiences. I am not enrolled. I have never claimed to be enrolled or to represent the viewpoint of an enrolled tribal member as reflected in my stories and statements. I have grown up with family and in a home that shared this experience, which goes back to my great-grandfather and extended family and has been part of our culture and identity. I have always been transparent about my identity and our struggle to gather the paperwork necessary to enroll because of bad record keeping and missing and inaccurate documentation. This is not unheard of and is a difficult part of forming family histories. I'm working hard alongside my family to find more documentation, which takes time, but until I can prove my ties beyond a shadow of a doubt, in alignment with the Cherokee Nation Statement on Sovereignty and Identity, I will no longer be writing Native stories. My team and I have decided to pull If I Dig from publication until further notice, and If I Stop Haunting You will be my last Native story. Thank you for your patience as we work through this." Now, I'm not a Native person, and that is very unfortunate, having to pull the book. And then when I looked on Goodreads, it has like a 2.98, and I'm sure that there has been a lot of review bombing going on. I feel like growing up in the United States, I've just heard my whole life people who are like, oh yeah, I'm Cherokee, or I mean, my great grandma was, some indigenous group. I've never had that claim from any of my family, but I've heard it from a lot of people. I just don't think it was wise to, I don't know, like base your, not like you can't write those experiences, but maybe write maybe more towards that. Like, this is what I've grown up hearing. We don't have proof, but this informed some of our traditions and customs, and maybe your story could be more like that instead of writing it as a fully recognized Native person who is enrolled. I'm not Native, so I don't want to say too much. I just saw that someone sent the link to me. They're like, I don't know if you've seen this. And I was like, no, because I had heard of the book. And then I read that and I was like, wow. So I don't know if any of you were planning on reading that. But that is, again, like they said, the TAF, there's already so few stories about Native people. Especially written by Native people. So to have someone come in who is claiming to be Native but isn't, just essentially taking up space in a place that really isn't yours. When I saw this, I was like, ugh, because I just don't know how to talk about it, right? Because it's not a group that I'm a part of. So I understand people being upset and the frustrations. But I just don't know more what to say because I'm not in that group. But it basically goes back to when we found out so that certain authors are cosplaying as Black or Latinx. It's like, it just feels icky, for lack of a better word, because being a part of a marginalized group, it's already so hard in the world in general, and then in publishing to get your work out there, to get your voice to be heard. I'm sure it's gotten better in the last 10 years, but the word minority or marginalized exists for a reason, because it's not the majority, it's not the norm. So to come into that space, if you're actually really not a part of that group, I just don't know why we would, if you never got like the paperwork and you don't know that for sure, why you would be like, this is my bio, this is my thing, I'm writing this story about this thing, as if I'm actually certifiably, I can guarantee 100% this Native, half Native, not half Native, you're Native, and maybe, because there are people who are like, maybe one parent was Indigenous, the other one was white, like, you're still Indigenous. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I need to be like, Bree, what do you think of this? Bree has a lot more knowledge and contact, works with Indigenous peoples. So that's just, I don't know, reading that one made me sad. Ugh. So that's what I have for you today. That didn't take long. I'm not mad at it, but I'm mad at some of the things though.
Just want to throw this in here quickly because I'm just going to read it. There's not much to say, okay? As everyone's talking about alternatives to Kindle, I see Libby mentioned a lot, and it's great. However, please support the authors you love by buying their books whenever possible. Library lending doesn't matter when we're seeking a new contract or deciding if we can afford to keep writing. Only book purchases in any format count. Melanie. Libraries purchase books. They purchase the rights for audiobooks, for ebooks. So I'm gonna need you to kick rocks with this take. That's it. That's all I have to say. I just saw this and I'm like, there's no discussion here. This is hot garbage. Carry on.
And so of course I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have information to add, feel free to share that below. Please keep it cute and respectful, because if you get out of hand, I will block you. I will do that. But yeah, if you, because always, not the, I would say the risk. Things that happen with presenting information like this is stuff can come out afterwards. So if like there's been an update or something since I recorded this video, like, you know, share it below. I always love to see the conversations happening in the comments. So let me know your thoughts down below. But I hope you are taking care of yourself. We're getting in, you know, the season has changed. The days are getting shorter. I feel it too. So if you have a medication, make sure you're taking those. We might need to get some vitamin D supplementation going on, although check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. We still need to be drinking our water. Yeah. And even in the winter, we need to be wearing our sunscreen. Don't think you can slip now. No, you can't. Absolutely not. So again, please, my loves, check my link down below if you're interested in the trip to Ireland. Please, if you are eligible, please vote. Please. And stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen. I will see you in my next one. Bye.